latest hype in the market, right? ChatGPT and all the image creation tool. So I asked in this case, right, Bing Chat or image creator to draw a colorful cartoon of a Singaporean government policymaker using AI to design new policy, assisted by his staff who are, currently human, but probably in the future AI. And this is what we got. So as you can see, the state of AI has really improved by tremendously the last couple of years, right? In the area of computer vision and natural language processing. So very colorful image, and I just generated this like last night. And I thought that since this topic of the importance of collaboration between industry, academia, and government in advancing AI innovation adoption, who better to ask this and try to get some ideas than ChatGPT itself, right? And that I keep this in, and it came back with this 5 points, right? I asked specifically for 5 points, and ChatGPT basically say, well, synergy of expertise is important. You need to accelerate. You can accelerate AI innovation by bridging research, development, and implementation gaps. There must be sufficient funding and investment. There must be some form of policy and regulation, the right policy, the right regulation to accelerate innovation, right, and not to hamper. There must be talent development, right? And I think global competitiveness is, especially countries like Hong Kong and Singapore, we have always been very, very mindful of this. And therefore, global competitiveness is one important aspect of this topic. So it's very interesting that ChatGPT came up with this. But bear in mind, ChatGPT is trained up to like September 2021, right? In terms of information. So let's step into AI Singapore. We were launched back in May 2017. And today we have 5 different pillars, we like to call them, that looks at different areas of AI. And our mission really is to obviously, right, position Singapore as a leader in the AI world, whether it's in terms of research, whether is it in terms of programs development, and also to make sure that we are able to uplift our AI ecosystem here in Singapore. So we fund professors to undertake research in AI under our AI research pillar. Under the AI technology pillar, we fund teams to come up with solutions to solve very pressing problems that we see as a country. And typically this is done through challenges, grand challenge, and so on. So time period could be short, 6 months, all the way to 5 years or more. AI innovation, which I run, is all about how do we engage the industry to really accelerate their adoption of AI. And we'll talk a lot more about this. AI Makerspace, which I used to run until last year, was all about, after doing all these AI projects that especially SMEs can quickly adopt and use. AI governance is our newest pillar, and they are to look into the issues of AI ethics and governance, right? And we fund professors to undertake research in that area. But before we go into the program in detail, one of the unique things in AI Singapore and especially AI innovation is that we work on real-world AI projects. And my KPI is not to publish papers. My KPI is to deliver 100 AI projects for the industry. We have already accomplished that. We are moving on to the next 100. So what are some examples of AI projects that we have done? So we have helped IBM Singapore here to build an AI model that actually look at their sales data, their RMA, that means items that they're selling, and then that customers return because of problems with the system or defects and so on, and then predict which of the items they are selling may have issues, may have very high RMA. So this is very important, especially for new products that they introduce into the market. And this was built back in, I think, 2019. And I bumped into one of the IBM executives here in Singapore at one conference, and he was from US, and he said, yes, this one has grown to be a very important part of their overall product management strategy. This development was done in 7 months. Most of our projects are done between 2 to 7 months. Sompo is an insurance company. We help them to build a fraud detection model that basically a fraud detection model that for when people submit claims into hang on. Sorry about that. Usually we don't get calls at all, and this is weird. Okay, so for Sompo Insurance, it's all about building a AI model that detect fraudulent claims. So the model is able to detect when someone submit a claim and it say, okay, this claim is suspicious, it could be a fraud. It raises, instead of rejecting it, which is something that we should not do, especially when it affects people's livelihood and future financial activities. We raise it to a human manager that will look at the claim to let the human make a decision whether this is a fraudulent claim or not. For this particular project, again, was done in 7 months under a 100E program. And in fact, Sompo actually won insurance award for this project. We also help other entities like GIC, HP to implement AI projects. For GIC, it was a text analytics application that allows them to ingest thousands of documents that they receive every day, rank and analyze them so that the analysts only focus on what's most important to them. We also help HP here. This was during COVID when we were reopening the first time round back in 2020, middle of the year. And they wanted to make sure that people were socially distanced in their factory. So we had a solution that could could detect whether people were socially distanced at a very low cost, right? Really cheap USB type cameras with something like a Raspberry Pi. And their price point was they want to deploy at like less than $300 per location, and they install about 50 of such devices throughout. We also help our small SMEs, in this case, UParcel, to basically do optimal routing for their same-day on-demand delivery. So these are all AI projects that was delivered in a very short amount of time, 2 months, if not 7 months. And for government agencies, we also help them. We have done computer vision projects like illegal parking, safety at construction sites, a lot of text analytics projects, and a lot of voice to text work. So these are all projects that have been done, completed, delivered to customer, and in production today. So I'd like to have 2 tracks of discussion here, right? One is what AI Singapore is doing in terms of this 3 prongs of industry, academia, and government collaboration, right? So how do we promote industry AI adoption? So like I mentioned, one of the most important program in AI Singapore is our 100 experiments, coupled with our AI apprenticeship program. In the 100 experiments, companies will come to us to say, we have an AI project. This is something that we think AI can be used. We'll evaluate. And if we think it is something that we can support, AI Singapore will actually co-fund. But in this case, very different from other programs that Singapore has, or maybe even in Hong Kong has. We don't give money to the companies. In this case, the company have to give us money. AI Singapore, I will put $80,000 on the table. The company must match $180,000, 30% in cash, 70% in kind. In kind means their manpower. Their cash will come to us, we'll pool our cash together, and then we'll form a team, an AI engineering team in AI Singapore to help them build their AI solutions or products in 7 months. And this team will consist of a full-time AI engineer, apprentices. I'll talk a little bit more about our apprentices, and project manager, our researcher, and then a full-time ML ops team. These AI engineer apprentices, the apprentices are not students. They are working professionals who actually quit their jobs to come in as apprentice to deepen their skills in AI. And they work on the project full-time. So it is not like what you may have experienced in the university, where you cooperate with a university and then they send you intern students or master students that will only work on the project part-time in between classes and so on. In the 100E, under the apprenticeship program, this engineer and apprentices work full-time on your project. The engineer do not work on any other project. It is fully dedicated to your project for the full 7 months duration. The apprentices are also dedicated to your project for the full 7 months duration, Mondays to Fridays, 9 to 6. So what it means is that in these 7 months, we are able to deliver real-world AI outcome, because you actually have a full-fledged team supported by a ML ops team, supported by project management, supported by researchers to actually deliver something for the customers. So the outcome is a deployable AI solution, and that is the key KPI that we measure. Whatever we build in 7 months must be deployable. If not, we will have considered it as a failed project. We will have trained manpower, not just the apprentices that are trained, but also the companies whose members are attached or work alongside with our team, right, as their in-kind contribution. So what's important here is that in this 7 months, or rather for the apprentices, they come in for 9 months, 2 months of deep skilling, 7 months they work on a project, and then they can rejoin the industry. These apprentices, when they are in here for the period, the deep skilling period, 2 months, they will go through all these modules. But the key thing to note is that to get into the apprenticeship program, it is not a training course. In fact, for the apprenticeship program, we don't even charge the apprentices. In fact, we pay them. If they are successful and they get into our program, we actually pay them 3,500 to 5,500 Singapore dollars a month. There's no training cost fee, right? Because for us, I created the apprenticeship program because I needed engineers to work on all these 100Es, and I just could not hire enough. But I felt that there must be Singaporeans who are super dedicated and have self-taught themselves, have learned AI machine learning on their own, but they have never had an opportunity to work on real AI problem. So we went out to identify these people. We say, hey, why don't you come and join us as an apprentice? We'll train you, we'll give you allowance so that you can focus on learning and deepening your skills. So to get into the apprenticeship program is not easy. And during these 2 months of deep skilling, not only do they need to deepen their skills in all the AI techniques, they also need to pick up software engineering. They need to pick up deployment skills, right? CI/CD, Dockers, and so on and so forth. And over 7 months, these are some of the work that they will have to do, from understanding the domain to building understanding the data sets, doing the feature engineering, building a baseline model, building out the pipeline, and then improving on the model and the pipeline, and then documentation and handover, all done in 7 months in a very in agile and scrum and agile methodology. And this, one of the most important thing that we do very differently compared to most organizations is that we treat these apprentices as like our full-time staff, right? But one of the things that I've said is that to get into the apprenticeship program, you have to be a Singaporean because there's a lot of investment that's put into this program. You have to pass our technical test. That's it. I don't really care which discipline you studied in university, because it's not really relevant in the role of an AI engineer or ML engineer. So over the last 12 batches that we've had over the last 5 years, we have about 25% coming from science, that means chemistry, physics, maths, and then econs. We have about 30% from engineering, 20% from a computer science background, and then we have 8 and 15% from the arts and social science, accountancy, and banking. Now, this is super critical for the success of our apprenticeship program, and actually, this is also actually the secret sauce to building a great AI ML team. An AI team does not consist of just computer science graduates. That one is a group of people with multiple domain expertise and talents. It's only then that can you build a real world AI solution. Because you have to remember, in building AI machine learning solution, it is not about algorithms so much. Because today with auto ML and so on, right, and all the AI APIs, it is there. It's quite easy to use. What is more difficult is understanding the domain, knowing how to look at all the data that you have and then apply it to the domain and figure out what other data you need, and then feature engineer and then select a suitable algorithm and solve the problem. Obviously, you need to know the foundations of how to handle data biasness, missing data, and so on and so forth. But those can be easily learned. The domain are something that takes a while to pick up, actually. So where are our apprentices after they are done with the program? They are all over in both large organizations and startups. So when we started AI Singapore and the apprenticeship program, I only had four engineers. Today we have more than 50 engineers, and most of them came through the apprenticeship program. I thought I'll just share this phrase. You might know how to do data science or even being able to participate in a Kaggle competition, but until you have project sponsor breathing down your neck and have to hand over production code, you aren't upping your game. So I added the words in red, but this phrase came from one of my 100E assistant head, right? So you can learn everything online, participate in all the Kaggle competition, but until you deliver a real world project, that's where you really learn. Other programs that we have, looking back at industry, academia, government collaboration, right? We also want to get firms to adopt AI. Besides the 100E and AIAP, we have other sort of programs, like we created the AI Readiness Index that allows a SME or any organization to quickly determine, right, in about 10 minutes, where they are in terms of their AI maturity. And we share this freely with any organizations. It's 15 minutes, own time, own target. Go online and do your survey. You don't need to pay thousands of dollars for a consultant to come in and tell you what you can know in 10 or 15 minutes. We also have lots of resources that we have created to allow people to learn about AI. So the AI Readiness Index, I will not dive too much into it, but for those who are interested, is over at aisingapore.org/ARE. And we basically classify organizations into unaware, aware, ready, or competent. And why is it so important? Because I get more than, over the last couple of years, right, we have more than 600-700 companies now, right, that have approached us. There's no way we can spend a lot of time with each and every one that come to us to determine whether we can help them with a 100E or not. So we needed a very quick way to determine where are they in terms of their AI readiness. And if they are AI ready, then it will be worth our time to actually help them. If they are AI unaware or AI aware only, then there are other programs, whether from AI Singapore or from our partner ecosystem, that we will recommend them to go to. So it's super important to know where you are in your AI journey. If you are AI unaware, it means that you need to beef up not just management, but also your employees' awareness of what AI is, right? Once you go into AI aware, then that's when you can start consuming AI applications fully intelligently, whether is it ChatGPT or mailing list, SaaS application that have AI in there and so on. And once you go to AI ready, that's where you are prepared to have an AI team, AI engineers that will use SDK, that will use pre-built models to actually build applications to integrate into your own workflow. So with this AI ARI, we have managed to curate and go through like 600-700 companies, approved more than 100 AI projects, and completed more than 60 of them as of March 2023. So this is just a snapshot of the type of projects that we have in Singapore the last couple of years. In terms of AI literacy and proficiency, besides the apprenticeship program, we found that it was super important to make sure that the SMEs understand what is AI, because if not, there's no way I can get them to do a 100E project with me. So we created the AI for everyone, way back in 2018, and it was a 3-hour program that we conducted freely on a Friday and afternoon or a Saturday morning twice a month. And before COVID came, it was done live. After COVID, we went online. It became so popular that all the schools today in Singapore actually uses AI for everyone. Even the government has adopted AI for everyone to train all public officers to understand what is AI. Besides that, we have AI for industry that is really targeted at working professionals who wants to pick up the skill sets in AI. We really are also focused on making sure that we have resources, good resource, free resource to our students, whether it's AI for kids or AI for students, to make sure that I have a steady pipeline of students becoming, going into the workforce, and then some of them joining us as apprentices, even in the next 5 or 10 years down the road, right? Other programs we have is like, for example, our AI makerspace, now renamed as AI products. They create products that is easy to be used by our SMEs. Okay, whether is it for RPA, computer vision, speech, and so on. The other thing that's super important is to grow and professionalize the AI ML engineering job role. We believe that we want to make AI engineer is just like your financial accountant, your CFA, and so on. We think that there is a super important to make sure that engineers do not just say, I know AI, I'm an AI engineer because he has finished a Coursera course or attended some boot camp. There must be an industry charter that can properly certify them. So we actually created this chartered AI engineer to make sure that we have a standard rubrics to be able to grade engineers into level 1, 2, and 3. So this is actually being done by a spin-off that we created, a non-profit association called the AI Professional Association. Again, this is how you see AI Singapore being funded by the government, right? Driving certain outcome, right? Working with the industry. So this AI Professional Association is staffed by volunteers from the industry. So we give them the rubrics, they took our rubrics, and then they continue to improve on it. And then now they run the certification and the test for the industry. So today we have like nearly 200, 300 of these certified AI engineers in the industry. And companies who actually are looking for AI talent, right, can easily come here and contact these people if they are interested. The last part is really about ecosystem leadership, right? What are the things that, besides building, helping companies with their projects, funding professors to do research and so on, and building talents and training the workforce, what else does AI Singapore as a government-funded entity do, right, in this triple helix structure? So in this ecosystem leadership, we participate actively in standards. So we are in the ISO 42 standards for AI. I used to be the chair for the Singapore chapter. And then we participate in IEEE. We have also contributed 10 of our AI use cases to IEEE, to our government PDPC AI governance use case. And some of our AI projects are of such high quality that they even get published in magazines like Nature. Although that's not our outcome. Our outcome is to deliver real-world projects. Our KPI is not publishing a paper, but because the outcome is so great that the project sponsor actually decided to publish the paper. We have also created a handbook to help organizations who are interested to adopt our programs. And we are prepared to share this with organizations, with countries, with other countries. Recently, we also published an AI practitioner handbook. Again, freely downloadable. Just go to our website or just Google for this, and you can take a look at it. It's a handbook to help new engineers, especially the apprentices who decides to stay back and join us as AI engineers, to deepen their skills and even have more in-depth knowledge, or actually how to build AI projects. So it's really meant to help new engineers to step up very quickly to start building production AI systems. So who are some of the countries that have adopted our programs? For example, Egypt has actually adopted our AI Singapore's 100E AIAP program, and they even taken our AI for Everyone and converted it to standard Arabic. GPay, which is the Global Partnership for AI, which I'm actually co-chairs for some of the committees there, have adopted our AI Readiness Index into a portal that also AI Singapore we are building to try to match SMEs to AI solution providers, so that we can help SMEs to adopt AI quicker. And this portal will be launched in June, okay, for all OECD GPay members. So going back to what ChatGPT had for us, right? The 5 points, right? Synergy of expertise, funding and investment, policy, regulation, talent development, and global competitiveness. So I thought it would be great to ask ChatGPT, right? Based on these 5, where is AI Singapore with respect to these 5, right? But keep in mind, ChatGPT only has information up to September of 2021. So in terms of synergy of expertise, it picked up on our 100 experiments, was great. On funding and investment, it says that we could, connect AI startups with potential investors and so on. This is something that is not AI Singapore's mandate, and we don't do. We have another agencies that do that. On policy and regulation, it picked up that SG is not directly responsible for policy and regulation, which is correct, but it says that it could enhance its contribution by conducting workshops or seminars and so on. So we do that today, especially now we have a new AI governance pillar. Talent development, it picked up on our AIAP, our AI for Everyone. It says that we should do scholarships, internships. Yes, we actually have them already today. In terms of global competitiveness, it says that we should have more research initiative and collaborations with overseas entities and so on. Again, we have this already today. So as you can see, it's really interesting, how the industry, academia, and government, right, can come together to actually create an ecosystem. And I think the AI Singapore ecosystem, the ecosystem that we have built up is pretty unique. It's something that we could do in Singapore. For other countries to replicate, some parts of it can be done, but not all of it, because of the way Singapore has structured itself, the funding that he has put in place, and so on and so forth. So when I'm asked to give a talk like this, I'm happy to share, to learn from each other. And if there's interest in our programs, please reach out to me and let me know. So with this, I'll end my talk, and happy to take any questions.